Ghostface is back in Scream 7. I went out to go see the movie, so was it really that bad? Let's talk about it. And I'm gonna tell you up front, I do not think that this was a great Scream movie, but I don't necessarily think it was a bad Scream movie either. I just think it was okay. So it's Scream 7, we are following Sidney Prescott once again and continuing her story and her family life. Now, if you've been keeping up with the production of this movie, it definitely had a troubled one. The movie we ended up getting here was not their initial plan for the movie, and it wasn't their backup plan either. There was a lot of drama that went on behind the scenes, and then Melissa Barrera ended up getting fired from the film, Jenna Ortega left, and then they went through a couple of directors, and yeah, it was just a really messy process. But I'm not going to dive into all of that drama in this video. But because of all of that, that is why we're shifting a lot of things up, and now we're back with Sidney and her family. And I think there was a good idea here. I just don't think that they executed it properly. So let's start by talking about some of the good stuff with the movie. I think the best parts about this movie are with Sidney and her character growth. It is really interesting to see her in a different phase of life with a kid that is the same age as she was when all of the stuff started happening to her. Other thing that we can put here is there are some really gnarly kills in this one. Two in particular, one of them is kind of teased in the trailers, and then another one happens in a bar. I'm not going to go into any spoilers in this video, but they definitely were the highlights as far as kills go. Now, I think overall these weren't the best kills of the entire franchise, but there were some really good ones in here. Another thing here too is they do experiment a little with the way that they reveal things. They definitely do a couple of reveals pretty early on that I think was different for the franchise and at least something new. And as I said earlier, this one definitely was hindered by the production process. And so because of that, and this not being their initial idea or their second idea, I don't even know if it was their third idea. This may have been their fourth or fifth idea. It feels kind of like they're in desperation mode to get fans to come in and watch the movie. So they lean a lot on the nostalgia. And if you are a fan of Scream and you've been watching them since the beginning, you're gonna get a lot more out of this than if you weren't. And so they're really leaning into that, and they're trying to get you in to watch the movie, and that's the option that they chose to do. And it just feels really desperate. The script isn't really great within this movie. It was very straightforward, and I think figuring out who Ghostface is pretty easy to do if you're paying attention. This one too suspends disbelief a lot. Like, you have to buy into a lot of stuff here. I will say that is the case for most Scream movies, if not all of them, but I don't know, this one felt a little bit more than normal. But I think the biggest thing that holds this one back for me is the reveals and motives of Ghostface. Once we get to the end of this movie and a bunch of stuff gets revealed, like, I don't know, this one just did not feel like it was thought out really at all. I was just not a fan of what they did. I felt like they were just rambling on in their little monologue, and I left the movie and I was still like, what was their motive again? With that said, I'm gonna be giving this movie a 68 out of 100. I've seen a lot of people online say that they hated this movie and that it was the worst of the franchise. I don't think that's the case. I personally like this movie more than Scream 3 and Scream 6. But there are a lot of things that held this one back, and it's definitely one of the worst Scream movies that we've gotten. But that's just my thoughts. Be sure to let me know yours down in the comments. Did you like Scream 7? Did you hate it? Let me know. And subscribe if you want to become my newest best friend. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking nerdy.